We have Goblin Thurion for you today. Yes, we have more shark good stuff and Volcanics, along with some more meta. Sworn Deck Box is still up for those of you. We've sold out of the Field Center bonus with it, and we have a few of the regular edition left for those of you that want to grab it. The link down below so you guys can grab yours today. And personally, this is still one of my favorite projects that we've had to date. Sure, you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we'll be starting off here with Goblin Bikers with Horus and Thurion cards. So basically what this deck is attempting to do is basically you're going to do a lot of different cheese actions in here. And this looks like somebody's play project on the side here where, you're trying out all of these different engines along the way. And this deck is even so far as, guess what, you see the Beatrice, congratulations. 2 dumps, you have a full lock on your opponent's turn. Thurion stuff gives you, guess what, negates. Terror Top gets you into an auto big gabunga, and you're able to go ahead and start interacting on your Goblin side of things here. I think the most important thing to realize here is you're playing this deck so that all of the engines get the chance to flow together. And that's something I don't think a lot of people tend to think about, especially in, a fire format starting to unfold here. You have all of these big combo pieces that can suddenly start to interact together here, and you can suddenly go, wow, hey, I can test this idea with this, and this might interact with this, which opens up the door to this. And this is a perfect example of that. I mean, you've even got a Splash Resonator package in here to give you access to things along the way for the other Synchro department. I'm pretty impressed, honestly. So, I don't know if you want to try something like this, or if you're looking at this and you're like, there's no way that this functionally is an idea. I hate to tell you this, but this is an idea. This is something that looks like it's going to come to fruition. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, we're actually playing the Smashers in here for the special summon a Thurion monster from the graveyard. Yeah, it comes up. Next up here we have, yes, the Enrated Special out here with Sharks out of, what was it, 30 plus case tournament, managed to do pretty well, make it into the top 16. One little interesting thing that they wanted me to mention here was the fact of the Emerald Torta here and exploring a rank 3 option to kind of give this deck a little bit extra of an option to kind of access to, Arrow Shark being one of the most hilarious things. But one of the main reasons why they said that they were able to do so well is Crooked Cook. Believe it or not, this thing literally having this underneath it, you create a soft lock, can't be destroyed by battle, and you slap the thing in defense mode, and suddenly your opponent cannot do anything to this. And we can see the long game of attrition start to unfold here as they they struggle to find all of these little option trees to kind of out this, but they can't because it's unaffected, as it's the only card on your field. Yeah, that's hilarious, Yugioh 101. Outside of that, I mean, Necrovalley is a pretty good card. They said that this was a huge success for them, and of course the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation being a dump target off of the Foolish Burial Goods kind of help this deck out. Seems pretty good. I do want to go back to Crooked Cook here. Kaijus don't exist in the format at all. So if you can deploy a Crooked Cook against your opponent and they have 0 out to this thing, you deserve the W. That's kind of honestly how I feel right now. And this does prove hey, the format does need to explore other options. If something like one of the oldest soft locks in the book is getting the chance to do something. Also, this full Armored Exceed stuff, we finally have Armored Exceeds. So, you can finally start to see the value that this card actually can do. So that's actually pretty cool. So good stuff. Next up here, there's going to be a lot of volcanic activity, I feel like, because for whatever reason here, now that we have Pobbler, all the volcanic duelists are like, we can do something. People are like, hey, we're not going to spend all this money for cards. But then there's a whole group of Volcanic players out here that are like, yeah, I bought Bonfires. Yeah, I bought Wanteds. I'm not playing Fire King. I'm going to instead play Volcanic Emperor dot deck at 100% power, and I'm going to bully my locals. And that's what we've been seeing here. I think that it's hilarious that this is what we're seeing actually come out of this. But Volcanic Emperor's a stupid card. Also 45 cards, by the way. You get to also the free Kernai damage off of this thing. It's pretty insane. Hey, look. Cards that allow you the chance to play the game. This deck also gets to play Super Poly. Like, you've stripped off the good Fire King cards. All the little brokenness that comes with that. And you've stripped it down to the point that you're able to play this Volcanic package to get things going. And, I mean, it might be pay to win in some eyes, but good job to the Volcanic duelists out here that are grinding this competition and just wanting to play the deck that they enjoy. I think that's pretty good. Also, the Greater Inari Fire, the fact you can bring this thing out from your deck and then get some like free little capitalization on the effect. I know a lot of people don't really realize, but like these monsters that can special summon from the deck are very dangerously designed. Just pointing that out there. And outside of that, hey, look, some very good thrust targets. Yeah, I also imagine that this deck can different dimension ground your opponent, and then they're just like, huh? Like, what actually just happened there? Well, board clear, I suppose. Alright, what else we got back here? So this was a 7-0 mana DM deck. And this deck goes against a lot of the things I feel like players have been set in their ways about out here. I think that's good. Mr. Prisma here, the classic, pay half of my life points, make the Prisma, and guess what? We can reveal the Vicious Shroud, because guess what? Our name is now Vice's Starfrost, and we suddenly can link on into the Scareclaw here, and you have full combo. I will say that the fact that Mr. Prisma, of all things, like, we've gone full circle here. Everybody was like, oh, Prisma's so garbage, we're not gonna dedicate any slots to this ever. And then all of a sudden, you see this deck come out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, I'm back. You thought you had gotten rid of me. I just love how things can go full circle in this game. Also, the fact this deck's playing Monster Reborn is really cute. I see we're also playing an Instant Fusion in here as well. I mean, Millennium Miser Strict to make sure that you don't get blown out on the counter pick is a lot better than, dedicating main deck slots to cross out. It's also not like this deck does not have the crossouts down here in the side deck to be able to pull an access if it needs it, all right? Like, you have these cards. They're here to assist you, and I think that's pretty good. Also, we are main decking the Reframing, which I think is fine. You see, I think a lot of the people they got it in their head that they didn't have to dedicate slots. Like, whoa, Econ Super Polys. Actually, I don't think this deck ever played Super Polys. You can play board breaking cards and still find a slot to this, so you can try the best of both worlds. Maybe you are going to go first half of the time, maybe you're not. But having the Reframing at least as an access point here, so you can do things and then, actually fully dedicate all the way down here to the side deck is pretty good. You have to consider that. All right. Oh, hey, there's a lot of fish today. So I'm really sad we don't have a side deck for this. I always like to see some of the ideas that these Goaty lists are trying. Good to see that we are playing Goaty Chain. Okay, so we are having some of this. Hey, look, it's the cards that people told me were really bad in Goaty, and they've been showing up in a lot of these lists. Very, very strange the White Sardine and the White Sunfish here, along with the White Reincarnation, are seeing play. I wonder. Maybe it's almost because Porpius here and the White Aurora Whale are broken cards. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people had a lot of bad notions for including this card, especially, the Abyss Shark in here. They're like, oh, it just loses to the random hand traps. But honestly, these cards are things that allow this deck the chance to kind of go through some of the combos. You need as much gas as you can get, or else you're going to end up in a lot of these really terrible situations. And if that's going to be the case, you're just going to be in a bad spot. So please do bear that in mind if you're looking at Goaty right now and you're like, hey, do we need to consider this? I think you probably should. All right, the little gas combo lines that I feel like this deck can go through is pretty good. Outside of that, I mean, only 2 Deepest Devs. You have the 1 called by. That's pretty normal, I feel like, at this point, but, interesting. Well, for this video, a lot of interesting ideas. I'm very curious to see what more is going to unfold, but for now, what an interesting place to be. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons, thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.